It's the 27th of August, 2024. As we can all see on the recorder, it's about 12:30 in the morning. And here I am again, explaining the same thing I've been explaining since 2019. So I've had a couple acts of fraud on the court destroy my life. I'm dealing with sociopathic shit stains. So we're going to go into what's going on because, well, nothing has moved forward because I'm dealing with the dead. I'm dealing with those who are empty. That's why the eyes are blind and the ears are deaf. Like, there's nobody home. The fucking elevator is not even reaching the first floor. So fraud on the court. I'm going to go quite quickly through this, but I'm going to have a link in the description box of the document that I've written. And if it's up on YouTube, YouTube doesn't link documents. Unfortunately, you have to cut and paste the link into a search engine, then hit enter and it'll come up. BitChute's a bit different. BitChute's way better at allowing you to provide links that you can actually hit. Okay, so fraud on the court. It means that any ruling or judgment that the court has issued is rendered void, right? So fraud on the court is one of the only remedies in law that does not have a time limit to set aside a judgment that was obtained by the fraud on the court. So some examples of fraud on the court are service of court summons, withholding a court summons from an entitled party. That happened to me during the process of the forced adoption of my son. Corruption and influence of court members and officials. That happens constantly when you're dealing with forced adoption and with theft of interest private property. Judicial fraud, well, that's what's happened every single time I've lost my property. First it was my son, now it's my home, my inheritance, my automobile, most of the personal chattel. Intentionally failing to inform parties of necessary appointments and requirements. Well, that would be the, what was that thing's name? It was one of the LIARS. That was supposed to be helping me regain custody of my son. Oh yes, the Christine Churcher. Yeah, isn't that thing cute? Yeah, it likes to traffic children for the cabal here. Schemes considered to be unconscionable as they attempt to deceive and make misrepresentations through the court system. Well, hey, there you go. Forced adoption and theft of interest private property. So we're going to go through some legal maxims here. So a person, okay, so of course they talk Latin, right? Literal meaning of this maxim is acting and consenting parties are liable to the same punishment. So interpretation, a person aiding and abetting the actual commission of a crime, either at the scene of its commission or elsewhere, is equally liable as the perpetrator. Oh dear, that's not good news. So because I do understand what's happening and I understand why it's happening to me and why it's constantly happening to me, this kind of hatred and persecution and targeting and gang stalking, just because I understand doesn't mean I'm not being physically affected. I'm being mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually affected adversely by, well, I'm being forced to deal with the dead. They've invited themselves into my life so they can suck me dry. That's what they do. So let's take a look here at this instrument. Trust border color. It's blue. It's the color of men and women's blood, blue bloods. Light blue is ecclesiastical law. In other words, common law, the highest authority of all men and women. That's what a trust is. That's what's happening here. My spouse is granting me ownership of everything that he had in his name while he was here with us. These get written up all day, every day. These are not new instruments. This is not rocket science. This is 3 pages and it's fucking bulletproof. It's bulletproof. So when you're reading one of these documents, you have to read them the way they're written, right? So paragraph 3, I give my trustee, that's me, all my property of every kind, wherever located, to administer as I direct in the will, and in administering the estate, she may convert or retain the estate as set out in paragraph 4A. So then you have to go and read 4A. Because this now grants me power to keep the estate the way it is when he passed, and I now have the power to waive, settle, compromise any claim due to or due by the estate, because he's not here anymore. So this is really important information. Don't you ever go talk to a member of the BARF unless you are an expert in the subject matter, because they are going to lie to you. They're going to lie to you so they can steal from you. That's what they do. That's what they're trained to do. They've gone to Hogwarts school to learn how to deceive so they can murder, steal, and destroy their neighbors. That's exactly what goes on every day, all day. You should never go have to talk to one of them, because then you've proven yourself incompetent and incapable. I've made that mistake. Don't you make that mistake. Don't make the same mistakes I made. But even if you go into the whorehouse here or anywhere, they're still just going to ignore you because they're all corrupt. They're condemned creatures. They can't speak the truth, right? They're sociopathic spawn. They're born that way. That's how they roll. Because how many of the sociopathic solicitors there tried to force a probate on this estate, which it's not required? There was many of them that tried to push a probate. You know why? Because that makes them money. You have to understand, after he passed, I'm in shock. There's other horrible things happened to me in my life, and now the one man that loved me, never wavered on me, never lied to me, took care of me for over 20 years. He was the one who saw what happened to me and my son, our boy. He's a witness to the whole thing, and now he's not here to provide witness to what happened. So I'm in shock. I'm not doing well. And so I go talk to these BARF members, and boom, not only are they not explaining anything to me, they're just there to steal. To murder, steal, and destroy. That's what they were all about, every single one that I spoke to. Legal maxim. Action dies with the person. So interpretation: according to the maxim, actions of tort and contract are destroyed by the death of either the injured or the injuring party. Right, so the above maxim explains paragraph 4A and B of the last will and testament of the man known as Jack Daly. As the maxim makes crystal clear, a personal action dies with the person, providing the personal representative, as written, wields the power of choice to at any time compromise, settle, or waive any claim due to or due by the estate for whatever consideration and whatever terms they decide, and extend, continue, or renew any evidence of any liability my spouse may have had as endorser, guarantor, surety, or otherwise, for any liability of any person. Now, I have quite a number of channels that I subscribe to, and the other day, recently, just a couple days ago, there was one of them that did an upload, and there's someone on there explaining that you want to be a natural person. And I jump on the comment section, and I'm like, well, yeah, whoa, no, you don't want to be a natural person, because when everything was being stolen from me, I started to do a deep dive into research, right? And lo and behold, what do I find out? Well, the Bank Act here from 1991 claims that the bank is a natural person. And then I go on to the BC Law Society website, and oh, look at that here. That cabal has also decided that it's a natural person. So I had a comment up, it got deleted, and so I had to make a post on my community page to try to explain to somebody who came on and then commented when I left comment that no, you do not want to be a natural person. That still renders you no standing, no voice, no rights. You're still dead. It doesn't matter whether it's artificial or natural. It's still a corporation. It's an entity. Unfortunately, the first photo I uploaded is way too large, which bugs me a great deal because you can't really read what it says. But the next two photos, because someone asked me to explain what I was talking about, I did do a screenshot because I always have evidence to back myself up. I have to. That's what I am. That's what I do. I'm a truth teller, a truth talker. They're like, well, I can't find this. What are you talking about? Well, yes, here it is right here. I'll show you. The Bank Act, right here it says the bank's a natural person. Right over here, the Law Society of British Columbia. It's telling you right here that it's claiming to be a natural person. So no, you do not want to stand as a natural person. A person is, okay, we're going to move on here. And so this is now just the written version of the instrument. Okay, so I need you to pay special attention to this. This is a personal line of credit, and I need you to notice the amount that's due here. It's about $38,000. And I took a screenshot of this invoice. After my spouse passed, I was never once asked to pay this. My name's not on it. We can all see that it says here at the top, personal line of credit, Mr. Jack Daly. That's the address of our security, right? This is a statement from January. He passed away suddenly in May. So at this time, this credit line, the new balance is $38,000. Now, I've had to explain now. I'm so sick and tired of explaining the same fucking thing over and over and over again. This is not a mortgage. My spouse had our security life insured. The mortgage was life insured. So after he passes away, here is the confirmation from Canada Life, which is a subsidiary of CIBC Mortgage. You get me? The mortgage is paid out. That means there's now no mortgage on the house. The house is now paid off fully and completely. I have been lied to so many times by so many of these they're shit stains. They really are. Like, they have no value. They have no purpose. They have no talent. Their entire life is just telling one lie after another. They've lied so much their tongue can no longer tell the truth. So then there's all this other garbage going on that so who owns the property once it's transferred into the trust? Well, the trustee is the one who holds the title to the trust property, and the beneficiary is the person, I hate that word, the one who receives the benefit of the trust. So it's important to notice here that in British Columbia, common law couples have the same rights and responsibilities as married couples. That happened in 2013, and in 2013, Jack asked me repeatedly to marry him. At that time, I've already done enough research to know my son is already gone. My son has already been kidnapped. He's been literally abused almost to death. And in 2012, he's been sold at 8 years old. So at this point, I get that there's no fucking way I am going to have anything to do with the beast. Like, I don't want joinder with the beast at all in any way, shape, fashion, or form. And that's why I don't hold a driver's license. That's why I don't, no thanks. I'm good. You don't come into my life and tell me what the fuck is going on. I tell you what's going on. I have had the wicked involved in my life since I arrived here in June 1973, and I have been made physically sick every time I have been forced into a relationship. Yeah, the parents are both shit stains, unfortunately for me, to the point where I had to go to the hospital repeatedly while I was growing up. And yet I'm hearing from these doctors, these physicians of no value, that there's something wrong with me. No, there's something wrong with my environment, and it's making me sick, and that's what's happening to me now. Oh. Please excuse me. If you listen to me and you get through these, bless you. May peace be with you and upon you. What I'm going through is not easy to listen to. I understand that, and I'm not easy to listen to because of the amount of rage that I have. But I do try to keep my listener in mind, because I don't want you to be uncomfortable. I'm the one who's uncomfortable all day, every day. So common law couples would hold the legal right of survivorship, which is what I'm trying to explain here. Right, so my name was never on title of the house. It didn't need to be. So here I'm explaining. This is from legalaidbc.ca. Do you notice that this is stuff that I've gone and researched because I'm being lied to all the time. My spouse is a senior when he passes away. So if you own the house as tenants in common, after your spouse dies, their share goes to the person it was left to in the will. If the title deed of your property, the title deed of your property will tell you if you're joint tenants or tenants in common. If it doesn't say joint tenancy, then it's automatically a tenancy in common. All right, so here's some more from Senior First BC. What's the nature of the ownership if the nature of ownership is not stated? If the ownership or title document says nothing about the nature of ownership, as a general rule, BC law assumes that for personal property like automobiles, bank accounts, the ownership is joint tenancy. For real property like a house, the ownership is tenancy in common. So right of survivorship is an attribute of several types of joint ownership of property, most notably joint tenancy and tenancy in common. Right, okay. So survivorship rights in BC. A will versus right of survivorship. A will can legally dispose of all property in a person's estate following their passing. Similarly, property owned subject to a right of survivorship is passed on outside the estate. Ownership automatically vests in the survivor at death, and the other original owner no longer has an ownership interest. I even had the beasts from the bench try to force me into probate after they had stolen everything. So first of all, we can all see here that my matter is not subject to probate. The property is not part of the estate. It passes to me directly. And there isn't enough left. I believe it's $25,000 you have to probate. And the other thing is, well, once you've fucking stolen everything, what am I going to write down on your satanic cult paperwork? I can't. There's nothing. I have nothing in my possession. I'd have to have the property in my possession. Not only the house, but the automobile that you fucking stole. Right, okay, good. So now, where is this coming from? Because it's in the Land Spousal Protection Act. Yes, the legal language of the last will and testament of the testator, page 2, paragraph 4A, agrees with the Land Spousal Protection Act, section 4.2, which counsels the personal representative to hold the homestead in trust for an estate for the life of the surviving spouse. Well, that would be me. I hold both hats. I'm not only the personal representative, but I'm also the surviving spouse. So it's also important to understand that what the Trustee Act says, because we have to talk about that in a little bit here. Trustee Act, inheritance if person holds in trust. For the purpose of this section, the personal representative of the deceased is deemed in law to be the heir and assign within the meaning of all trusts and powers. Again, how do you avoid a probate? You set up a trust. Your property is owned by the trust. It never becomes a part of your probate estate and is not subject to probate. And see how many times I'm explaining the same thing? So how is it that I've got nothing and this has been going on for year after year after year after year? And now one of these shit stains is lifting a filthy fascist finger, foul finger, to do anything about what's happening to me, just like my brother prophesied. Exactly like he prophesied that they would weigh you down with all this fucking bullshit and then not lift a finger to lift any of it off of you. Because they rolled a stone on me hoping that, well, you know what they want. So do I. So in a similar case of fraudulent sale of landed premises where the inalienable rights pertaining to ownership protection, right? So this has already gone through the whorehouse back in 2009. This happened to somebody else. Now here's something from the Supreme Court of Canada. They decided that fraud unravels everything, right? Deception vitiates contracts and all transactions whatsoever, right? So where is my son? Where is my son? I know where my house is, but where is my automobile? And where is all the personal chattel that the first two Asians there took a hold of without right, legal or lawful right. What did they do with all my personal property? Because I saw some of it, it was being used to stage my stolen house so they could pass it off here to their buddies, partners in crime here, Benji Howe and Sandy Dennis. More maxims of law. What is otherwise good and just, if sought by force and fraud, becomes bad and unjust, right? Things invalid from the beginning cannot be made valid by a subsequent act, right? A thing void from the beginning does not become valid by a lapse of time, so it doesn't matter how long this goes on. Everything you have stolen has to be returned. And it needs to be returned now. We're now at the end of summer. We're now at the end of August. A without jurisdiction act is any act which a court did not have the power to do. So, mortgage fraud. April 2009, the BC Court of Appeal held that unless a mortgage is granted by the true owner of a property, the mortgage is invalid and the owner's title will be returned to its original state. Well, this one can't be returned to its original state because it has to be returned into the name of the House of Daily Trust. That's who owns that house. The House of Daily Trust. So let me explain something else to you. Now, you can go and do a whole bunch of research on this because I'm telling you the truth. You realize, right, that they have got you as part of the body. They've incorporated you as an artificial person into whatever township, city, district, wherever you're at. You're considered part of that body. You're not a living man or woman. You're a thing to be like raped and pillaged. And then when you do need some service from them, well, it's just a fucking shit show, isn't it? Like, did you get your ticket to the shit show today? Because that's what's happening if you have to deal with these fucking animals, these arrogant abomination animals who figure they've got more rights because I'm an employee of a city, I'm an employee of the court, I'm an employee of the registry, I'm an employee of the bank. Yeah, no, I don't fucking think so. Gifts and grants are not subject to taxation, right? Property tax. Now, you understand, right, that barf member business is like, they're all the monkeys belong to the British Accreditation Registry, no matter where they are, whether they're in India or in America or in Ireland, like in Canada, it's all the same shit. Right? So the Trustee Act, inheritance, if the woman holds in trust, I just read that to you, Section 71.3, for the purpose of the section, the personal representative of the deceased is deemed in law to be the heir and assigned within the meaning of all trusts and powers. So real estate versus land. You cannot buy land, you cannot sell land. Land must be granted. Don't you ever identify yourself as a citizen. Don't you ever identify yourself as a thing, like a driver, like a citizen, like a taxpayer. Don't do that to yourself. You don't want to be a part of the beast. Come out of her, my people. Please come out of her, my people. Or you become a part of what's going to happen to her, and you don't want to be a part of what's going to happen to her. Those of you who read scripture regularly understand exactly what I just said, and I'm not going to quote you chapter and verse because I shouldn't have to do that for you. That book sits on the witness box of every fucking whorehouse in this country, and very few read it. So, right. So land, right? Land is to give and to grant, not sell, unto your name and to their heirs and assigns forever. To grant is to freely give, not to purchase. That's exactly what my spouse did for me. It wasn't shortly after that man met me that he started to take care of me, and he never once stopped taking care of me. That's what a man is. That's what he does. That's why it's written in scripture that blessed is the man who goes out and finds a wife. We're not equal to men. Never have been, never will be. You know I don't play that shit game, right? You should know that about me by now if you listen. So a man or woman is described as a grantor when they create a last will and testament, a trust given to grant ownership of land freely to a beloved who owes no duty, no obligation, no responsibility to any third party, such as a bank, a municipal, or a city, or a township, or a court. The tortfeasors and criminals, that's what they are. Fucking thieves, man. Like toxic trolls. So you know there's a utility bill going to Benjamin Howe and Senator Dennis, right? Because the only bill that I would be receiving when I take custody of my property back, the House of Daily Trust is the name on the utility bill. So here's one of our utility bills. About a year after he passed away. Yes, I'm paying my bills. So I've been accused of not paying my bills. You got that, right? Yeah, that's why there was a fraudulent foreclosure on my house. So let's just all be aware that Scripture is the truth. And so exactly as it's written is exactly how she rolls. So what does it say here in Micah 2:2? Come on, I'm not going to read this to you. We've read this a million times. So my spouse just isn't a name on a page. Like he's a man. And there he is there. And there we are together. They were sitting on the lawn of the legislature, and then when we're both wearing black over here on the right, we're in Las Vegas for New Year's Eve, 1999. That's where we went. And the lower photo, we're both wearing shorts. We're in Hawaii. 1998, we ran the Honolulu Marathon. So yes, it went on for decades. Truly, genuinely loved me, waited on me hand and foot, especially after our boy was stolen and then never returned. And I couldn't move after that. And I still can't. So you realize, right, that like I've got multiple witnesses, even society, even the media is telling us all that twice a week there's a mortgage-free house being stolen from somebody. That's why you've got $100 million in fraudulent mortgages happening. You realize that all the politicians are corrupt, right? Yeah, they are. They don't do anything for anybody at any time for any reason. They're on the take. They rob widows by taking their houses. No shit. That's Jesus. That's Jesus backing up Micah. So the top photo on the left, where he's standing at the bar, that's where we met. I was a waitress at a restaurant here in Victoria, British Columbia, and Jack would bartend on the weekends at night, and that's where we met. And when we met, he was a runner. He liked to run marathons. And so here's somebody else saying, you got an alarming increase in the number of house thefts in Canada. And they're doing it by home title fraud. That's what happened to me. And so here I explain crystal fucking clearly, because you know you got to be able to communicate with the bullies at the back of the bus and the fucktards at the front of the bus, right? You got a whole fucking bus full of fucking beasts of Belial. So Daniel Carroll, Accountants BC, agent for Rico CIBC, a natural person resident of Toronto, committed application title fraud. So the first two Asians could unlawfully purchase a mortgage-free interest property. There's my address. Everybody fucking knows my address. For $860K, November 28th, 2019. 1 year to the day, November 28th, 2020, they put that property back up for sale. They flipped the numbers around. You get me? Are you noticing? Listen to me. Everything matters. Everything means something. I notice absolutely everything. That's part of who I am, and I'm an INFJ personality type, and I have to tell everybody that because it's 1 to 3% of the population. And if you don't go look it up, you've already failed the test, because we're not normal. We are peculiar people. You notice how they flip the numbers around? They buy it for $680, but they put it up for sale for $860K. And then they have their two buddies here. I know they know each other. They take $749 for the stolen property. And December 18th, so my spouse arrived. My spouse's birthday is December the 18th. Coincidental, everything means something. So not even a year later, I went up to my house and knocked on the door with proof of claim. So November 27th, those two find out that they're in possession of stolen property, and now we're coming up to the end of 2024 here. And I have been relentlessly, viciously fucking assaulted by both fucking Vic PD and Saanich PD, fucking parasites. So let's see, here's another maxim. There is no wrong without a remedy, and where there is a legal right, there is a remedy. An action will lie for an injury, although no actual damage be sustained. So what's important is every right, when it's breached, must be provided with a right to a remedy. So the state's obligation is to make available the means for a just and peaceful settlement, right? So they're not going to do that for me. They're not going to do that for me. I've given them ample opportunity to do that for me, and they've just fucking refused. So here's one that's very important. Here's another legal maxim. So the literal meaning of those Latin words are, the court actions could be heavy. Interpretation according to the maxim, if in a case any undeserved or unfair advantage has been gained by a party invoking the jurisdiction of the court, the same requires to be neutralized. In other words, no man or woman should suffer because of the fault of the court or delay in the procedure. It is not only within the power, but a duty as well of court to correct its own mistakes in order to see that no party is prejudiced by the mistake of the court. And again, down below here, the courts cannot hold someone responsible for a mistake which itself caused. There is no higher principle for the guidance of the court than the one that no act of court should harm another, and it is the bounden duty of courts to see that if anyone is harmed by a mistake of the court, the victim should be restored to the position they would have occupied but for that mistake. So then where's my son? And where's the automobile that you stole? And all the personal chattel? Remember I talked about that invoice before? I want you to take a look at this. This is the letter that got sent to me September the 28th, 2018. This is the letter that's sent to me by this fucking sociopathic savage calling itself Daniel Carroll from Kamloops, British Columbia. Your loan's in default and the full amount is due. The $40,000, right? That's the credit line that I showed you. Automatic withdrawals from your account have been canceled, so it's essential that you call us before making any payment. Well, I can guarantee you that payment, which was like $130 every month, it was never an automatic payment coming out of Jack's account. He would go into the bank branch and make a payment. So here we got a whole bunch of fucking lies in the first paragraph. Oh, and then it goes on here. To avoid legal action and the cost of foreclosure, we must be in receipt of the amount owing within the time period. Oh, but wait, hold on here. I missed a bunch here on the second paragraph. Unless payment for the full amount of the loan, inclusive of the interest, is not paid by October the 8th. So I've been given 2 weeks to pay a bill I don't owe. Or they're going to flip the house into the bank's name and then they're going to sell it. Are you understanding the gravity of what's going on here? Like, because I'm telling you, I have had laughing fits about this because, I mean, this is the level of intelligence that I'm dealing with. I mean, are you fucking kidding me? Like, are you even for real? Like, are you for real? You guys, come on. You gotta, right. Oh, and then have you ever read going into CIBC's fucking corporate responsibilities and all this? Oh, we're all about the client. Oh, we're going to work with you. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, and he's calling the personal line of credit, he's calling it a mortgage. Yeah, no, I don't think so. Yeah, nice try. But you got away with it, and fucking, I tell you what, literally hundreds of fucking beasts of Belial helped you do this. Can you imagine coming after one little tiny woman like this? Not fucking once, but twice within fucking a decade? That should tell you something about who I am. Right there. Oh, here we go. Here's some shit. Yeah, these are documents that have been sealed by the court in October. Yes, oh yes, check this out. Yeah, and look at this. So we've got my spouse named here. We've got the estate. Oh, the estate is apparently deceased. Being a natural person, this natural person is now deemed to be deceased. And the executor and the personal representative of the estate is apparently deceased as well. That's what that says, if you know how to read a document. And then here we've got John Doe and Jane Doe. So let's just ask, how are John Doe and Jane Doe going to respond to this? Right? Because these are the respondents. You have to respond to the petitioner, the parasitic fucking petitioner, this natural person fucking CIBC. I mean, you can't be serious, right? So I'm getting all the documents, and here we have the trust. This is how they entered it into the court. They blacked it out in entirety. I'm not even shitting you. That's what they did. Fraudulent concealment. Here we go. Now here we've got some more shit from November in 2018. Oh, they're fucking moving quick on this. Here we've got everybody's name up here. We've got CIBC in Toronto. Yes, oh yes. And we've got the district registrar signing this shit on the 16th of November 2018. We're going to fucking steal everything because that's what we do here in Canada. That's who we are. And here we are. This is a charge from, let's see here. We've got November the 27th, 2018. We've got Graham Mack and Daniel Carroll stealing interest private property. Victoria Land Title Office. They've just fucking flipped my house into the bank's name. Here, we got the bank's name right down here in Toronto. Bank of Commerce, 750 Lawrence Avenue West, Toronto. And here we've got some more information, because you know I'm good at what I do. Instances of title fraud are still rare in BC, but they are on the rise, possibly due to soaring real estate prices in the lower mainland. As real estate prices increase, so does the size of the mortgages potentially exploited by fraudsters. Well, I just showed you the two. You had the first one for $680, and then you got the second one now for $749. So Scotiabank has that second fraudulent mortgage. Oh, and here we've got this. This came to me. This was hand delivered to me by this monster here, this Bradley Walker. Yeah, I'll let you read this. You can stop this because I've already been on here for a half an hour. So yeah, they've given me. Oh, they don't tell me they've sold the house at the end of November. They don't tell me. They keep showing the house, right, to fucking torture me. Absolute fucking torture is what's happening to me. I'm not even kidding you. And then this piece of shit right here shows up at my door January the 15th, and this letter tells me that I've got fucking 2 weeks to leave a home I've been in for close to 20 years, and I've got no money to do so. And they know this. Yeah. Now here we've got, this is Daniel Carroll, writ of possession. Now you have to understand, I went to court about 5 times fighting for my property. After this letter came in, I fucking kicked it into overdrive. And I went into that whorehouse. I was in there by the end of January, and I was again in there a number of times in February. Yes, trying to stop this. And the beasts at the fucking bench, they were all about this theft. Oh, fuck, they were all about it. They couldn't wait to fucking spew their fucking poisonous puke all over me every time I went in there. I'm going to get those hearings recordings as well, and where I'm going to upload them, and we're going to all listen to them together. They're so much fun to listen to. So here's Daniel Carroll. Yeah, he's talking to the BC sheriffs here, to the sheriff. You are commanded, it's a command, to promptly enter the land and cause the petitioner. Again, don't you ever fucking... Oh, the petitioner, right, that's a nothing. Yeah, see, I'm the respondent. No thanks, I'm a woman. I'm not a respondent. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, so the bank, right? How the fuck has a nothing come and now petitioned now to steal my house and to have possession of it? You're also commanded to seize and sell at auction for the best price available, sufficient the goods and chattels of my spouse and myself to realize the plaintiff's costs. Oh, so that must again be the fucking bankers. Costs, fees, and expenses of execution, and the cost, fees, and expenses for executing this writ. So I'm paying, my spouse and I are paying for this satanic ritual abuse. We're paying for it. Yeah, this is a writ of possession, sealed on March the 4th. It's sealed on March the 4th. It's dated March the 9th, and then they're at my house. Oh yeah, here's the other part of this fucking bullshit that came to my house. Oh, here we've got another fucking bullshit signature fucking stamp here on January the 15th, 2020. And here, March the 19th, 2020, they're seizing the interest automobile. A gift. It was a gift. Yep, my spouse's automobile that he gifted me. Yep, they're going to steal that. Of course they are. Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't you, right? Where are we at in time? Are these the days of Noah? Because think about how many beasts have included themselves in this crime. We're talking hundreds. Because what you have to understand is I am fucking rapping on every door. I'm calling, I'm sending emails, I'm sending registered mail packages. And the demoniacs, the demons that I'm dealing with, the eyes are blind and the fucking ears are deaf, and not one of these fucking savages knows what they're talking about. Not one of them. But they're all fucking getting paid. And they're all going to collect a pension. Right, so let's see here. What does this legal maxim say? Oh, fraud and justice never dwell together. Fraud corrupts justice regardless of the good faith or just intentions. Oh, really? Okay. So no judgment of the court, no order of a minister can be allowed to stand if it's been obtained by fraud. For fraud unravels everything. Well, we saw some fucking retard bencher here in Canada say the same thing. Let's see here. Done without indicating the inner secrets. Overt acts make known latent thoughts, or acts indicate the intention. Oh, isn't that interesting? Outward acts indicate the intent hidden from within. Ooh. You are presumed to intend the natural consequences of your actions. Oh, I think that's called reaping and sowing, isn't it? You reap what you sow. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Reaping and sowing. Reaping and fucking sowing. So now we've got Mark Kelly. This is 10 years ago. I mean, how much have these fucking satanic savage solicitors robbed now? 10 years ago it was 160 million. Now how much have they gotten? And they're never held accountable because Canadians are cowards. Canadians don't have the first fucking clue what justice is, not the first clue. And that's nobody else's job but yours. If you've been jacked, it's your job to go and have yourself unjacked. Because let me tell you something about these attorney generals and these crown creatures. Like, they're useless. Yeah, I can't tell you how many times I've been into these whorehouses to listen to what goes on. And I mean, I am just fucking shaking my head and rolling my eyes. I'm like, listen, I'm a woman who knows when a lie is being told, and I don't even have to know the fucking liar to know that the fucker is lying, okay? That's part of who we are, the peculiar people. We know who they are. That's why we're hated. Every fucking time I went in there and I heard a crown creature fucking stand up, the motherfucker was spewing nothing but lies. And guess who lapped up all that vomit? Well, it was the beast on the bench. Oh, yes, sir. So here we've got perjury. Yeah, it's an indictable offense. Oh, of course it is. Yeah, oh, and check this out. Oh, the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Interesting. Every individual, well, you don't want to be an individual, because that's not good, is equal before and under the law, and has equal right and equal protection and equal benefit of the law. Oh, without discrimination. Oh, okay. Well, that's never been afforded to me once. Oh, isn't this interesting here? We've got my father, the spirit of truth. He's like, yeah, you don't be acting against the life of your neighbor. Like, that's not cool. Don't be doing that. You realize that's blasphemy, right? You can't be forgiven for blasphemy. You don't act like that. Oh, here we've got criminal code offenses. Let's see. 3 of them specifically. Possession of property obtained by crime. Section 354. Trafficking in property obtained by a crime. Oh, okay. And then we've got 355.2 section. Oh, right. Possession of property obtained by crime for the purposes of trafficking. Well, that would be my son. And the automobile, I mean, I don't know. How do I make this more clear? What's going on here? Mortgage fraud. How long are you going to fucking go into a cage for mortgage fraud? Oh, 10 years. And let's see, mortgage fraud rate in Canada. Well, let's see here. Oh, it's increasing quarterly. Now it's at 19% now. Yeah, why not, right? Fucking who cares? Nobody in Canada, it seems like. Oh, let's see here. We got another maxim here. No man. Isn't it funny how they now it's a man. Now we're going to call it a man. Right, okay. No man can take advantage of their own wrong. Really? A party may not derive an advantage from its own unlawful acts. Really? Okay. Well, that's interesting information, isn't it? What do you think? But look at this Benjamin Howe and Sandra Dennis. and this Dean Murdoch, all taking advantage of unlawful acts. What's the law on stolen property? Whoa, you're going to go into a cage for 14 years. It's a crime here. So here, let's see here. This is, now I had to pay for this. I had to do a title search on my home to find out who the fuck is now in possession of stolen property. Because I had assumed that the first two still had it. You know, because I had to catch my breath. It takes me a while, man, to get back up after being beaten down like that. You gotta understand, I'm an empath. And the intention of these fucking witches is to murder me. That's their intention. That's their entire fucking gross game with me. It's been going on for over 50 years. This is not my first rodeo. So here we go. Oh, look at this. Oh, it's a holding company. Really? Oh, okay. Right, okay. Isn't that fucking cute? So these two have then been intentionally causing me harm for years because they're being counseled by all these other beasts of Belial to do this to me, to intentionally cause me harm. Okay, let's see here. Another legal maxim. Intention to harm. Interpretation. It is the state of mind of the accused relating to the person's knowledge of the fact that they are committing the crime. That is, the person knows the law forbids the action, appreciates it, the outcome of the action. Sorry, excuse me, pardon me, begging pardon. Let me go over that one again. That is, the person knows the law forbids the action, appreciates what the outcome of the action will be, and specifically intends to break the law. So, right, so we had Daniel Carroll start this whole fucking shit show. And then hundreds of monkeys fucking decide to join the train. The troll train. Yeah, how many times do I need to tell you the same thing? Oh, here's another maxim. Law and right does not arise from injustice. So interpretation, a legal right or entitlement cannot arise from an unlawful act or omission. When a fact arises from an illegal or unlawful act or omissions, it cannot form the basis of law or legal rights, even if it is public or prominent. Okay, right, so down here, highlighted, it's like bolded. A person having done wrong cannot take advantage of their own wrong and plead bar of any law to frustrate the lawful trial by a competent court. Well, we don't have any competent courts here in Canada. So this is section 489. Peace officers and designated public officers can seize items without a warrant if they believe the item is connected to a crime. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. So then, this is me over here writing. So I'm a peace officer because you understand that peace officers aren't armed. So these creatures who roll around here are armed and fucking dangerous in these go-go fucking gadget Masonic maggot mobiles. Those are not peace officers. They do not come in peace, ever. Have you ever had a conversation with them? They're there to escalate everything into fucking violence and into fines so they can make the beast money. They're there to generate revenue and to cause chaos and corruption everywhere they go. Everywhere them fucking hooves go, that's what they're doing. I know, I've dealt with them consistently and repeatedly for years now. So, and I'm not holding a belief, okay? I possess knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that that house, the item, is connected to organized crime, a fraud on the court. Right? Okay, so, because you know me, because I've been told, right, well, you haven't got that down, you can't pay your fucking... No, I don't. No, I don't. And all your fucking legal bullshit says that I don't. And it says it a couple of different times here. We're about to go over that. Section 489, to every peace officer and every public officer who has been appointed or designated to administer or enforce law. Well, my spouse gave me this power. Okay? And whose duties include the enforcement of this or any act of Parliament who is lawfully present in a place pursuant to a warrant or otherwise in the execution of duties may without a warrant seize anything that the officer believes on reasonable grounds has been obtained by the commission of an offence against this or any other act of Parliament, has been used in any commission of an offence against this or any other act of Parliament. Well, there you fucking go. And now we've got section 42 of the Criminal Code of Canada that says exactly the same thing. Everyone is justified in peacefully entering a dwelling house or real property by date to take possession of it, if whose authority they act is lawfully entitled to possess it. Well, that's me. That's been my security since January of 2003. Pregnant in that house. Brought my baby home to that house. That baby was raised in that house till he was kidnapped at 5 years old. My spouse and our beloved kitty cat both breathed their last breaths in our living room. That is my home. Legal maxim. Let's see here. Equity looks upon that as done which ought to have been done. So, interpretation. The doctrine of satisfaction well illustrates this principle of law. Where a person is under an obligation to perform an act, equity looks on it as done and allows the same results to follow as if it were actually done. I need my fucking house back, and I need it fucking back now. Another legal maxim. Let's see here. Equity follows the law. It's a concept that equity or the law will not aid a person or party who is at fault. So then why are the fucking pigs, the Victoria and Saanich pig departments, swine herds, why are they protecting the trespassers and the criminals? Well, that's a question I need answered. Okay, let's see something else here now. Exigent circumstances. A peace offer may forego the requirement of a court order. You fucking rights. The requirements for seizure under these kind of circumstances are where there is imminent threat to my life. Oh, no shit. Right. The courts have long recognized that the protections of Section 8 are circumscribed by the existence of the potential for serious and immediate harm. That's exactly right. So these circumstances inform the reasonableness of a seizure and may justify the absence of prior judicial authorization. Listen to me. That whorehouse has absolutely no jurisdiction. Not once but twice it has proven to be a malicious witness against myself and my family. There's no fucking way I'm ever going to allow any of those base beast benchers another opportunity to spew their puke all over me. No thanks, I'm good. I heard you fucking multiple times. I know what you are. I know what you do. So, oh, look at this. We've got common law here. Oh, wow. At common law, a peace officer has a duty to protect life. Well, I'm protecting my life. I'm protecting my life, and I need my house back, and I need my house back right the fuck now. So permission was withdrawn on January the 10th, 2022. So now what we've got here is we've got these swine herds obstructing justice, which is a crime under Section 139 and Section 129. We've got obstruction of justice. Then again here, we've got permission withdrawn October 29th and 30th of 2022. So again, more crime. And then we've got permission withdrawn again on March the 5th, 2023. Yes, right. Oh, but they keep calling the swine herds and lying, which is the crime of public mischief. So January the 27th, 2023, there was a half-hour assault at the door here. And that wasn't the first one that I'd endured. I've got them uploaded to YouTube and to BitChute, these assaults. So my phone was cutting in and out during that assault, so I caught most of it, but not all of it. But if you add up the time there, it's over 30 minutes, but it lasted about 40 minutes where I was screaming through the door at these two, swineherd members. And then on the 29th of November, 2023, again, I'm fucking violently assaulted. This was a 4-hour fucking gang rape by the swineherd acting as Saanich Police Department. Oh, they just don't stop with me. They just do not stop. I'll let you read that. Well, what happened was, right, this beast comes into the room and informs me that it's spoken to the homeowners. Well, I'm the homeowner. You're speaking to the homeowner. Fucktard. Yeah, I'm afraid so. But apparently these alleged homeowners have informed this beast that if I go back to my house, I'm going to be arrested for trespassing. Really? So that's the crime of uttering threats, intimidation, and mischief. Oh, boom. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out. And then again, permission was withdrawn on June the 28th, 2024. And I told them, I need you at that house at 9 o'clock. I need my keys back. So what I did was I did a live Instagram, and there's the link right there. And I emailed, pardon me, beg pardon, I text messaged this Kirsten Martin at about 4:30 in the afternoon on Friday, and I said, yeah, I need them there. I need my house back. This was a notification that I posted to my property that you're trespassing, you're not to be trespassing. And then we've got tort law about trespassing. I'll let you read those. I've been on here way too long. So the BC Trespass Act. So it's 6 months imprisonment, and I'm the prosecutor, so I'll be the one deciding how long the beasts, well, forfeit freedom, right? You have forfeited freedom by continuing to do what you're doing. You did this to yourselves. 6 months imprisonment. Trespass Act. Occupier, well, I'm the one who with lawful entitlement of the premises. I'm the one with lawful entitlement. So I'll let you read that. It's 3, trespass prohibited, 3, A, B, C, and D. They have violated all 4. Mischief. What's the crime of mischief? Well, the punishment for mischief, causing danger to life, and that's exactly what's been going on. It's been going on for years, is, it's imprisonment for life. It's basically the forfeiture of your freedom. And you knew what you were doing. You knew what you were doing it the whole time. So everything on the websites, the government websites, it's all propaganda. They don't follow any of it. They don't do any of it. It's all just to give you the illusion that it's the beast and it's there to help. Right, so the creatures I'm dealing with, these male and female humans, legally defined as monsters, they're all dangerous offenders. Because you realize, right, what's happened to me is, and to my family, both my spouse and I, is the public incitement and willful promotion of hatred against us to wipe us out. They wiped out the man's legacy. They fucking shit all over it. That man paid every bill. Either before it was due or when it was due. I never saw him miss a bill. Not once, not ever. And he never took advantage of anybody, not in my sight. So yeah, that's what they're up to here. Oh, dangerous offenders. Well, that's who I'm dealing with. That's exactly who I'm dealing with here. Let's see. Criminal Code requirements. A serious personal injury offense. What do we have here? The use or attempted use of violence. Well, that's definitely beyond provable, beyond all reasonable doubts. Conduct endangering or likely to endanger the life or safety of myself and inflicting severe psychological harm. Yeah, well, that's what's going on here. That's exactly what's going on here, and you've got David Eby involved in all of this. Yeah, head hog here. Head fucking hog. Section 122, every official in connection with their duties, if they commit fraud or a breach of trust. Oh, it looks like it's 5 years. Yeah, I'll let you read that. And so let me show you all the work I do. And by the way, I can barely move. Like, taking care of myself is like beyond a full-time job for me. Like, I can literally barely move most days. I had a bunch of stuff to do last week at the end of the week. There was one day specifically I was going to go out and do something. I was going to go back to my property. And I sent an email in the morning, and by about 1 o'clock that afternoon, my body had completely shut down because I'm living in survival mode, because I'm under threat. Like, my body just goes into literal shutdown mode. I literally physically become incapacitated, and I cannot move. Which means it was unsafe for me to travel, and I'm not going to travel when it's unsafe for me to travel, because I don't put anybody else in harm's way, including myself. So let me show you here these court file numbers. We've got the top one here. That was the bullshit filed by Daniel Carroll and its fucking cabal of fucking criminals. The second court file number, I filed a notice of civil claim to stop this in January 2020, before they'd even stolen my home and my automobile, and most of the personal chattel, left me for fucking dead. Okay, so police file numbers, there's 2 of them here. So the first police file number, I took a package of information about every single piece of shit who was either in the process of robbing me or already had robbed me. There was also a bunch of other garbage going on in my life. I spent all this time, I spent all this money writing it out for these pukes. I delivered it December the 3rd, 2019, to Vic PD, the swineherd, who did nothing about any of it. Now, the second police file number, there, I went to the door. I've got these conversations recorded. They're up on YouTube. I went to the Senate swineherd to report trespassing and mortgage fraud, and instead of being helped, I'm being fucking assaulted. And then they're threatening me with harm and damage. They're aiding and abetting all this shit. Yeah, oh, look at this thing here. Oh, yeah, sweetheart. Oh, here's another one. Yeah, there's 3 of them. Yeah, the 3 stooges. The 3 fucking stooges. Police misconduct. Well, that's exactly what we've got going on here. Police fucking misconduct. Oh, look at here. We've got a repeat here. I do apologize for that. I'm really tired. You have to understand that. Forensic investigation. Well, I'm doing those. I need all the documents. I need everything you've got. I need all the fucking shit from the Victoria Registry, including all of those hearings that are recorded. I've got CCTV footage over here at the Senate swineherd. I need all that. I need all the files. I need them all. And according to Section 125, I don't have to fill out the fucking FO. I'm sorry. I'm not here to learn the way of the heathen. Thanks. No, the beast of bullshit is not going to fucking continue to fucking wear me down and wear me out, because you need to obstruct justice. You need to do it because you know that you're all guilty. Peace officer may disclose to any woman any information in a record kept under court records, police records that's necessary to disclose in the conduct of the investigation of an offense. Well, that's what's going on. So hand it over. Proof of ownership. Well, we just went through that. Trespass offense, conspiracy to defraud. Well, I'll let you read that. It's almost been an hour I've been on here. I got to get off of here. This is all a bunch of legal garbage. So, and then we've got charges laid against the 3 Ds here. The 3 Ds, the 3 demoniacs. We've got Manic, Murdoch, and Duthie were charged with conspiracy to commit fraud. You're also charged with Section 122. Breach of trust. Because you're guilty. Legal maximum. Let's see here. What does this one say? Done without indicating the inner secrets. Right, again, another repeat, but I have to say, it fits, right? You are what you do. You are what you do. So, Duthie, you need to call up the sheriff, because why am I doing all your work for you? I don't get paid to do your job. This is your fucking job. What do you do all day, Dean Duthie? What do you do all day, Del Manic? I see that you do photo ops like these other fucking beasts, David Eby and Nikki Sharma. Right, you bloat the fucking beast, right? You have all these cute little photo ops. You're all over fucking X and fucking maybe Instagram and what, Facebook, eh? Trying to make yourselves look like fucking heroes? I don't think so. Right? Because you shit storms. You fucking did all this to me, and so you have to undo what you did. Why do I have to do all your work for you? You're getting paid the big bucks. Right? Offenses of violence. A key societal right for all people is the right to be free from unconsented invasions of their physical security and dignity. Well, holy fuck. Hey. Group violence. When sentencing for group violence, is not permitted to argue that a particular individual's contribution was less than others and so deserves a lower sentence. They are responsible for the group that they contributed to. Oh dear, that's not good news for you, is it? Offenses of violence by persons in authority. Uh-oh. Well, you're supposed to be a good character, and you've proven yourselves to be of corrupt, cursed character. That's who you really are. The peace officer is usually calm with the ability to adduce a great deal of good character evidence. Oh, really? Well, that's not how it works here in Canada. No, you got to be the bottom of the barrel to get a job with the beast here. Impact on employment. Well, yeah, you're gonna lose your employment. That's what's about to happen to you. And nobody else has that authority but me. I don't hand my authority over to some fucking sewer rat, thanks. General considerations. I'll let you read that. I've been on here an hour. This is nuts. Section 21. Section 21 reads, everyone who is a party to an offense who actually commits it, does or omits to do anything for the purpose of aiding any person to commit it, or abets any person in committing it. David Eby, that's bad news for you, and that Chief Justice also, that Melissa Gillespie. Yeah, oh yeah, no, I don't think so. Offenses against property rights. Well, these are the charges. These are just some of them. Section 349, Section 380, Section 354, Section 141. You've got violations of the BC Trespass Act. You've got Section 279. You've got Section 262. Well, they're torturing me, so that's Section 269.1. 341, 129. Now, what kind of a fucking barf member is going to do all this work? They're not even halfway intelligent enough to put a deposition like this together. Section 140, Section 423 and 429. You've got Section 264. Oh, fucking watch out. And then acting and consenting parties are liable to the same punishments. But it's mischief. And so mischief carries a sentence of life. You have forfeited your right to freedom. Forfeited freedom because you needed to prove. Well, you needed to prove who you are. And that's why we're sent down here, by the way. My father needs a witness. And we know who's naughty and nice. Oh, yes, we do. So this was some information about Scripture and about how absolutely theft is just not okay. Like, no, you don't steal. You don't steal. Because natural law is the law. So early in time, stronger in law. He who is first in time is stronger in claim. A legal principle that older laws take precedence over newer ones. Well, that is really fucking bad news for the legal society. The legal louches. Because the law sits on the witness box. That's the authority. And look at this. We've even got backup. Yeah, we've got backup from Blackstone's commentaries on the laws of England. This is a Commonwealth country. This is a common law jurisdiction. Natural rights, natural law. All right, and then you've seen this stuff before, rendering foreign judgments. So the practice of law is an occupation of common right. Yes, it is. So there's some more stuff here, some more. I'm a woman expert in common law, remedy and restitution for victims of state discrimination, state group violence, and state racism, to publicly incite and willfully promote hatred towards my perpetually persecuted, targeted gang-stalked identified group of foreigners, real men and women known as the peculiar people, intentionally, knowingly, willingly cause physical injury, emotional harm, property damage, and outrageous to the standards of decency, economic loss, upon the Honorable House of Daly. I'll let you finish that. So here in BC, those who act as justice of the peace can perform trials and specific court duties like issuing warrants. But that shouldn't have to be necessary, should it? Unless I need to speak something onto the record and there needs to be someone there to listen to me? Because these are foreign judgments, right? Like, there is no higher authority than the authority of the peculiar people. There's no higher authority than the authority of the victim of the crime, actually. You don't hand over your right to access justice to some fucking sewer rat. That's another thing about children of the devil, right? They don't understand anything. So how are you going to get justice out of a creature that doesn't understand anything? Daniel 12:10. Protection of a woman acting under authority. So everyone who is required or authorized by law to do anything in the administration or enforcement of the law as a private woman, a peace officer, or a public officer, or in aid. Yes. Your rights supersede all acts and statutes. Now watch this down here in the red box. All statutory legislation is enforced by consent, fraud, coercion, or extortion. Did you consent to any of the shit that they do to you? Because your silence is considered consent, which is why you need to say something, and that's exactly what it says in the book of Leviticus. In the book of Leviticus, it says, if you know that something's going on and it's wrong, you better fucking stand up and say something, or you're going to be just as guilty as the fucking sewer rat who's doing whatever they're doing to you. All statutory acts are invalid due to lack of consideration of contract. There's no consideration at all. How can there be a meeting of the minds between living men and women and natural or artificial persons? How can there be a meeting of the minds? How? There can't be. Two can't walk together unless they be agreed. That's exactly where that comes from. All licenses, permits, and registrations are voidable if consideration and full disclosure are not offered. Well, they never offer this full disclosure. Because if they did, you would be like, I don't fucking think so. No thanks, I'm good. You can take your fucking bullshit and shove it. Your beast of Belial, Babylonian fucking bullshit. Shove it. I don't want to be part of your fucking dead world, thank you. This fucking place is circling the drain. I've been here for over 50 years. And it is fucking completely out of control here. We are talking Sodom and Gomorrah on fucking steroids. The monkeys have all lost their minds. It's a sign of being cursed, by the way. The mad, the blind, and the confusion. Yeah, it's a sign of being cursed. All loans and mortgages are invalid and the liability of the issuer if the contract is only one signature. Well, I guess what? I went into all the documents after my spouse was gone, and on our mortgage, his signature was there. There was a BARF member's signature, but there was no agent from the bank signing. Why would that be? Because they don't loan you a fucking dime, that's why. The banks don't loan you money. It's against the banking rule. They don't loan their own assets. It's all fucking fraud. So what are you up to? Are you standing up for what's right? Because if you're not, you're part of the fucking problem. Don't be part of the problem. We got enough problems down here. And you got to take a side. You can't just fucking sit on the fence. Listen. Don't be lukewarm. Because you're helping the oppressor and not the victim. And silence is violence. Don't ever forget that. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. You don't think I'm tormented? I haven't seen my son since he was 6 years old. Narcissists, yep. Call the narcissists on a delusional lie they believe, and they gather flying monkeys who all believe the same delusional lie to back them up. Remember, the truth can stand on its own. A lie doesn't become the truth just because many fucking mad monkeys believe it's the truth. I've been dealing with this all my life. Rotten fruit. The filthy fascist fucking reprobate rotten fruit. It's fucking everywhere. Well, it's running the show. Remember I told you about LIARS? Yeah. Listen to me. Scripture's alive. Scripture moves. It breathes. It's living. Yes, it is. Yes, it does. Yes, oh, look at this. That's right. Everywhere. They're everywhere. Shit stains. Everywhere. Right? And yes, those who have attacked me and my family, you've committed blasphemy, man. There's nothing you could ever do now to undo what you've done. There's no amount of money you could ever pay me to make what you've done okay. You can't give me back the time I lost with my son. I can never get that. You have completely destroyed a relationship that did not need to be destroyed because, well, who in the house here with me right now has ever seen the movie called Dr. Sleep? It was a movie from 2019. It was a sequel to The Shining. Now, if you've seen that production, what you have to know about that production is the foundation of government child protection and family court. Those sociopathics are looking for the children that shine the brightest. And it's those children who never go home. Please tell me that you understand what I'm telling you. I notice absolutely everything, and I'm not a woman who swims in shallow water. You have to understand the amount of research I've done because of what has befallen my life and my family's life.